Good evening, Belize. It's Friday and this is News 5. I'm Sabrina Daly. Tonight, where are the unions? With public outrage growing over the Mira Millions scandal and a controversial Ministry of Defense procurement deal, organized labor has so far stayed largely on the sidelines. Also tonight, growing concern over a proposed broadcasting bill. Critics warn the draft law could reach too far, raising serious questions about online speech and who gets to regulate it. And an emotional Rodwell Ferguson breaks down as he addresses his son's latest encounter with police, condemning the alleged outburst while opening up about the personal struggles he says his son has lived with for years. Plus, Belize City rolls out its electric bus pilot, but commuters say one basic thing is still missing: bus sheds. And later, Belize moves. The Ministry of Health in Taiwan launch a national push to get Belizeans more active, one step at a time. Those stories and more are just ahead. Stay with us. News 5 starts now.
Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Greater Belize Media. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Greater Belize Media.
The next station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Welcome back. Not long ago, scandals and public discontent would have been enough to bring Belize's unions into the streets. Their ability to mobilize workers and galvanize public support helped shape some of the country's most defining political moments. Today, however, amid mounting scrutiny over the Mira Millions affair and the Ministry of Defense procurement controversy, organized labor appears largely absent from the conversation. The contrast has not gone unnoticed. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
There was a time in Belize when public outrage often found its voice through the unions. Workers marched, leaders challenged authority, and organized labor helped push national issues into the streets. That history stretches as far back as 1934, when Antonio Soberanis and the Labor and Unemployed Association stood up to colonial authorities. But today, as the Mira Millions affair and the Ministry of Defense procurement scandal continue to stir public concern, Belize's unions have been noticeably quiet. So what happened to that fighting spirit?
We love Belize! We love Belize!
Fast forward to 2005, when citizens and trade unions protested the national budget, which introduced $90 million in new taxes and price hikes on certain items. It all came to a head in mid-April in Belize City, with tires burning, clashes with law enforcement, and downtown store looting. Then came 2016, when the Belize National Teachers Union showed just how much pressure a union could apply. After negotiations over promised salary adjustments stalled, teachers left the classroom and took a stand. Their strike lasted 11 days and sent a clear message to the government. Organized labor was still a force to be reckoned with.
We need to stand up for our country. We are seeing there's so many issues that are negatively affecting this country. We have to deal with those matters.
I'm glad
We are seeing the thousands of teachers. There are other groups who are supporting because we want to save our country before it goes to ruins.
Most recently in 2021, the joint union staged a strike that stretched beyond 13 days, setting a new record for labor action in Belize. At the time, the government implemented a mandatory 10% salary cut for public servants and teachers, alongside a 3-year increment freeze to curb ballooning public debt. Those protest actions featured traffic blockades.
We, the people, need to demand a change in our government. Not to change the government. We tired of change government. You change monkey, you get black dog. We want the government to change. We don't want to change the government.
Despite the Mira Millions Affairs and the Ministry of Defense scandal, the unions have not organized a march against what appears to be an abuse of the government's procurement system. So what is holding them back? We put that question directly to the president of the Public Service Union, Dean Flowers.
You are right. Every single other union should be in the media, should be speaking out. But more so, every single citizen should be calling in on the radio waves and flooding Facebook with demand for more accountability where the Mira scandal is concerned. We are doing our part. We have demanded for the removal of Oscar Mira from cabinet, the permanent removal of Oscar Mira from cabinet.
Reports remain unseen.
Interestingly, Flowers did show up at the opposition's recent Stand Up for Belize rally at Battlefield Park, but he appeared to be the only PSU member in attendance. Union Senator Glenfield Dennison was also there, bringing total union representation at the rally to just 2. So we reached out to President of the National Trade Union Congress of Belize. She told us, quote, "I have no comment at this time, as the General Council has not met for July." And when we reached out to the president of the Belize National Teachers Union, Nadia Callis, she told us that teachers are on holiday and traveling. It is difficult to reach a consensus currently. Callis says the union is closely observing the latest development with the scandal and will meet in August to strategize. President Leonora Flowers also told News 5 that the union must consult its membership. Tonight the question remains, will the unions come to an agreement that the growing procurement scandal warrants a joint national movement? Or will the labor movement remain radio silent? Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
It is a fund born out of a decades-old fight by retired public officers to recover money they say government still owes them. But tonight, the Public Sector Workers Trust is facing fresh scrutiny after an audit reportedly raised questions about grants issued and loans that were later written off. Public Service Union President Dean Flowers says there is no reason to investigate the trustees themselves. But he concedes that if questions are being asked about how the fund was managed, then the focus should turn to the trust's administrative staff.
There can be no investigation of any of those trustees because I can tell you that the trust produces audited financial statements each and every year. Those are published publicly, and any member who was affected by the increment freezes in 95 or 97 can look at those statements and ask the relevant and requisite questions. And I want to say that these audits are independent. These audits have been presented to the courts. And so there is absolutely no way that it can be that any of those trustees should be investigated. What we need to ensure is that they're doing the right thing, that they're in compliance with the Trust Act, that they're in compliance with the trust deed, and that the people who are impacted by this trust, that they show up when there's meetings to hold the trustees accountable. But in terms of investigating trustees, I don't know. The trustees don't sign checks and have access to the bank account. And they're clear separation of duties. That is done by an administrative staff. So I don't know that it is the trustees that should be investigated. It would more be the administrative staff, the administrator, the finance staff, the accountant, and those type of people. So no trustees
Okay.
should be investigated for perhaps mismanaging them.
Former Ombudsman Major Gilbert Suazo is pressing for answers in the case involving 9 Haitian minors brought to Belize in 2023, filing a Freedom of Information Act request to determine what progress, if any, has been made since his departure from office. The request comes as the Ministry of Immigration joins the investigation into allegations surrounding the children's immigration status, guardianship arrangements, refugee and welfare protections, and possible human trafficking concerns allegedly linked to the Beauty Out of Ashes organization. Suazo says key government agencies gave little cooperation when he began probing the matter. With the Ombudsman's post vacant since December 2025, he says Belizeans deserve answers on whether the investigation has moved forward and what is being done to protect the children.
There was a complaint that was made to the government of Belize. And apparently there was no action taken for 2 years. So the international organization felt compelled to ensure that there was some closure to this case. So they brought it to the next best institution which they believe could have done something about it, the Office of the Ombudsman. So after 2 years, now when we got that, I believe it was in June, we started to investigate the case. And we saw at that time where information and responses was very difficult to come by because of, again, the same issue that we were talking about, fear of any likely reprisal or losing jobs. So while we were getting information here and there, it was very difficult. Remember, it was 2 years, nothing ever came out. And within that space of time, we made some progress. Why? Because it's an independent office doing an investigation that was well within the realm of the Ombudsman Act. Again, we spoke about some gaps. So when we start finding that there is an appearance of willful or apparent neglect to respond, then the next step would have been to ensure then that these people were summoned to by law so that then they are compelled to answer, or if not, they'll be held in contempt.
FOIA request about the case's status was emailed on Tuesday and hand-delivered it on Wednesday. More than 7 months after the office of the Ombudsman was left vacant, the man who last held the post is speaking out, not to ask for the job back, but to question why it still has not been filled. Retired Major Gilbert Suazo says he has no plans to reapply, but he believes government may be complicating the process by searching for a candidate within specialized human rights expertise. Suazo argues that an ombudsman should be appointed now and that human rights training can follow, especially since the legal changes needed to merge a national human rights institution with the Ombudsman's office have not yet been made.
No, not at all. I don't intend to reapply in any way or form. I believe that it is not for me to go back into the office of the Ombudsman under the circumstances. My view is that there's a lot of distortion, particularly because of the fact that there is a project to establish and integrate the National Human Rights Institute into the office of the Ombudsman. My recollection and how I know it to be is that the Ombudsman Office will be integrating another department. Now, to say then that you need someone who has certificate or knowledge of human rights is making it difficult to appoint an ombudsman under the circumstances. Because the two are two, in my view, they are two separate things. The office of the ombudsman should remain as is because this is a consultation process to establish and integrate for the next 2.5 to 3 years. We will be building the institution of the Human Rights Institute within the office of the ombudsman. So I believe that however the ombudsman was appointed, as per the law in the past, the act has not changed.
Suazo warns that new human rights requirements could slow the appointment process and leave the Ombudsman's office vacant even longer. Coming up, bailout or smart investment? The Ministry of Energy says SSB's plan for BEL is meant to steady the company, protect consumers from sharp rate hikes, and bring returns down the road.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. In 1978, while preparing to travel to the Holy Land, I discovered I did not have a passport. I secured an application only to learn that you have to have a birth certificate to verify your birth and citizenship. This became a serious problem as I did not have one. I was born on a farmhouse in East Texas and delivered by a doctor who did not record my birth. I went to the courthouse in the county where I was born to learn they had no record of my birth. I said to them, well, my presence today here confirms that I have been born. They only said, we cannot issue a birth certificate without proof. You will have to get the signatures of your parents and someone who witnessed your birth. An older aunt still alive was present the night I was born, and she and others wrote letters, and I finally obtained a birth certificate and a passport. If a spiritual birth certificate and passport was required for your entrance into heaven, then what evidence do you have that you have been born into God's family? We know we are the children of God because we love one another. We love righteousness. We live in obedience, but also because God's Holy Spirit bears witness with our human spirit that we are His children. Don't wait until death to check out your birth certificate. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
up your engines at Puma Energy and get ready for an exciting chance to fuel, fill, and win. For every $30 purchase on fuel, a liter of lubricant, or $10 at Super 7, get a ticket to win one of 20 fuel prizes of $1,000. And here's the thrill. Fill up with premium Clean Tech Pro and double your chances of winning. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Head to Puma Energy and Super 7 today for your chance to fuel, fill, and win.
Open your eyes, family. We the head west. Yes, San Ignacio, we the come. The Open Your Eyes Country Tour is rolling into the San Ignacio Welcome Center. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. From the rich culture and delicious food to the incredible people and lively vibes, we bring the best of the West straight to your screen. Monday, July 27, starting at 6:30 a.m. live on Greater Belize Media. Open your eyes to beautiful San Ignacio.
These ads make some people uncomfortable, and that's okay. Imagine how uncomfortable it must be to live in a neighborhood run by gangs, dodging bullets, living in fear. The message is simple. The government must do its part. Upliftment of communities, free meals in primary schools, free education in high schools, scholarships and financial assistance, free healthcare in public facilities and national health insurance, affordable housing and meaningful employment. The police will do its part. Daily engagement with communities, protecting the vulnerable, and enforcing the law. The rest is up to you. Life isn't perfect, but the opportunities are there if you want it. School, work, productive life, family. It takes discipline, commitment, and hard work. But you can do it, and we are here to help. Remember that and choose life, because gang life is no life. A message from the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Belize Police Department.
A proposed broadcasting bill that would extend Belize's broadcasting framework to certain online media services is drawing criticism from a growing number of stakeholders, including Orson Elrington, who warned that aspects of the legislation could threaten freedom of expression and create unnecessary barriers for online creators and businesses. While the Belize Broadcasting Authority says the bill is designed to modernize outdated broadcasting laws and would apply only to services operating as broadcasters and not ordinary social media users, critics argue the draft legislation is too broad and could have unintended consequences. Critics are now calling for wider stakeholder consultations before the bill is finalized. News 5's Brittany Gordon has a story.
As more Belizeans use the internet to share news, grow businesses, and build audiences, a proposed broadcasting bill is sparking concern over who controls online content. The Belize Broadcasting Authority says the bill targets online broadcasters, not everyday users on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube. But others warn that the wording is too broad and could put the public at risk. Attorney Orson Elrington says the bill is unnecessary.
The Belize Broadcasting Authority trying to indicate that it would not apply to the ordinary person. But when you read the legislation, it is clear. It is so far-reaching that it would apply to the everyday, ordinary person. Once it is that you have a piece of legislation that has this type of wide discretion, that who falls under it and who does not fall under it, it opens itself up to abuse and wrongdoing. So if they're saying that right now, but nothing stops them from, if it is that they don't feel like they like what you're saying, to say, okay, you know what, after all, it applies to you.
Elrington argues that under the current draft, businesses that utilize live streaming services could be subject to the legislation. The founder of Silvertech, has joined the chorus of critics, warning that the bill's current wording could place unnecessary burdens on online entrepreneurs, content creators, and small businesses.
Silvertech is not against the regulation. Belize should protect copyright, children, public safety, and professional journalism off the bat. The concern with the draft is that it applies a broadcast era permissioning model to ordinary online activity before it defines like clear thresholds. So we have like a shop owner, a tourism promoter, educator, or an event organizers. They have to wait, at least in the draft, it stated potentially up to 4 weeks before they can get a green light, whether they can sponsor a live stream, need a license.
Elrington argues that the bill potentially impedes citizens' freedom of speech. Recently, social media user Sharon May Peters was taken to court by attorney Tiffany Cadle in a defamation suit over statements made during a live stream. Cadle, who is suing Peters and 2 others, supported the bill, arguing that it could hold citizens with large platforms accountable for what they broadcast. However, Elrington, who represents Peters, argues Belize already has legislation in place to do that.
They have absolutely no authority to govern the way that it is utilized, except for where it is that it can cause harm to others. And there is existing legislation already in place to address that. So you have the Defamation Act and you have the Cyberbullying Act, which we have already seen how they have utilized that to try to victimize persons. But those are the legislations which are in place to protect the citizenry from persons from abusing the internet.
Elrington says the bill gives authorities sweeping powers, including fines up to $50,000, equipment seizures, and even internet blocking. He calls it restrictive and undemocratic. Silva maintains that the bill requires thorough revisions as to not endanger businesses.
The tourism industry, we have a hotel, there's a festival in San Pedro. They receive a call Friday evening that a business in the Caribbean in the US in Belize wants to sponsor a stream for marketing purpose. Now imagine you're 3 p.m. late in the afternoon. You want to reach the broadcasting authority to get approval. You have to wait 4 weeks. So essentially what's lost there is that content, potential visitors, the production work, GST, and the local ad spend that would have been infused into that local economy.
The Belize Broadcasting Authority is inviting the public to review and submit feedback on its draft broadcasting bill and regulations, with written comments accepted through August 24, 2026. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Stan Creek West Area Representative Rodwell Ferguson became emotional today as he publicly addressed his son's latest run-in with police, condemning the alleged outburst but also speaking through tears about the lifelong physical and psychological struggles he says his son has endured. Stoney Ferguson was detained following an altercation with Placencia police on Saturday, July 18th. After officers say a routine traffic stop at a checkpoint escalated into verbal abuse, a police chase, and damage to a police mobile. While his father concedes Stoney Ferguson will have to face the consequences for his actions, he chronicled his early battle with severe asthma, miraculous recovery from a broken back, and struggle with anxiety.
I agree because we must respect the police at all times. They are there to do a job. I was told that he never stopped at the checkpoint, and then as we progress to Placencia, then everything escalates. But I want to tell you about my son. He has never lived a life of normalcy ever since he was born. When he was born at an early age, he was diagnosed with asthmatic condition. You can attest the nurses in Dangria back then that he lived in the hospital more than he lived at home. And so 8 years ago, he was climbing a breadfruit tree and he fell and broke his back. They found him about 2 hours after in severe pain. But because of his belief, he didn't want no medical doctor touch him. And so he's staying in the hospital for one night. And so every day he's in severe pain. And I started getting very irritated because he's trying to do his own thing. And I want nobody to take care of him. I say he must start to sell fruits and vegetables. And so I supported him with what he wants to do. And every day he goes out and he sells his fruits and vegetables. Unfortunately, he was going to Placencia, I guess, over the weekend, and he met a checkpoint. And he currently ran the checkpoint. The police got a hold of him and took him to the station, and this is what transpired after he was taken to the station. But the young man that now know what is it to live a normal life.
Central America is getting ready for what could be a tough stretch for farmers. With the 2026 to 2027 El Niño phenomenon expected to bring drought, extreme weather, and added pressure on food production, agriculture ministers from across the region met Thursday in San Jose, Costa Rica, to plan a coordinated response. Belize's Minister of Agriculture, Rodwell Ferguson, is leading those discussions in his role as pro tempore president of the Central American Agricultural Council. The focus is on finding the resources farmers will need to weather the impacts and protect regional food security. Minister Ferguson says no country can face this challenge alone, and that cooperation among member states is the only way forward.
It's a conversation between all the countries of Central America, and we put our resources together. And so yesterday we met, and everybody's supposed to come to a plan what we want to accomplish within the next 6 months. And right now the main criteria or priority will be the El Nino that is affecting the region. And so we want to see how we can access some funds to be able to assist each and every country to combat the El Nino, especially our farmers that have been affected. So we are saying we can find some resources for them. Again, it might be grant funding because the resource is not there. So on a shelf, but we have to put on our thinking cap now to make sure we can support the agriculture industry.
What have your conversation been like with farmers, Minister, in terms of their concern for the El Nino that's upon us?
Well, technically, yes, it's upon us, I believe, until July of 2027. And every country is already feeling the effects of it. Some receive severe heat, some outbreaks of rain, and storms like a tropical storm. And so it affects the crops. And with those with extreme heat, it affects the availability of water. So the body, we have to figure out how we can combat it. It's difficult because it's a natural phenomenon. But at the same time, we can't just sit idle by and say, let it be. And so as the CAC, we left and departed yesterday from a meeting with one ideology to find a solution how we can assist in the entire region. And what we are saying then, if we are a region and we're integrated, then we're supposed to work together as one team to make sure that everybody gets the benefit of whatever comes to the region.
Is government throwing BEL a lifeline or making a smart investment to protect consumers? That is the debate around the proposed BEL investment bill. The opposition says it looks like a taxpayer-funded bailout for the electricity company. But the Ministry of Energy rejects that, saying the plan is an equity investment meant to stabilize BEL, avoid steep electricity rate hikes, and eventually bring returns to government. CEO Leroy Almendares explains why the ministry says the bill is necessary.
I'm glad you asked, because remember now, BEL buys power. And it buys power not only outside of the country from Mexico, but it also buys domestically from Hydro Belize, it buys from Santander, it buys from ASR, it buys from Hydro Maya. Soon Babcock will come on stream. it must pay its bill. And it must be understood, Jane, that BL does not make a profit from the selling of electricity. It does not. The cost of power, the mechanism, it tells you that the cost of power should be a pass-through. In other words, if you buy it for, and I'll just give an example, if you buy it for 10 cents, you should be able to, when you consume 1 kilowatt hour, because if it's 10 cents per kilowatt hour, you should, every kilowatt hour you consume, you should pay the 10 cents. BL has not been collecting that 10 cents if we use the 10 cents. It has been less. Because BL is regulated. This investments bill is it's an investment, equity investment in BL, because you're talking about preferred shares, and those shares, of course, gets first treatment as opposed to ordinary shares. So what will happen then? It's an investment where, really, if we get BL's operations to where it was in a profitable base, then those shareholders within BL are supposed to get dividends as well. If BL was to make a request to the PUC and say, guess what? I need to recover up to $70 million that I have not been recovering because you're not allowing me to do so. You know what the rates would be? To do one recovery within a year, to recover all of that, the rates would skyrocket.
So to simplify, while a critic may call it a bailout, in essence it is basically a subsidy.
Well, it's not a subsidy because you're buying shares.
But it's also
it's an equity investment.
The BEL investment bill is expected to be tabled at the House of Representatives meeting on Friday, August 31st. For former BEL employees who have been waiting years for severance payments, time is not on their side. Some are aging, others are battling illness, and all are still hoping for a final answer. But the legal process meant to help settle the dispute appears to be stalled. Labor Minister Karim Musa is now calling out Belize Electricity Limited, saying the company promised to seek direction from the High Court within a month. But 2 months later, that still has not happened. Now pressure is building on BEL to move the matter forward and bring closure to the former workers.
100% that is wrong, because they had told me in a meeting that it would only take a month, and that was, like you said, about 2 months ago, that they were going to file the papers for a declaration in the High Court of Belize within that month. And so that has gone way over the month, and it should not be the case that we're waiting so long for a judicial determination in a matter, as you can see, where there are a lot of elderly, a lot of sick in the or former workers of BL. And so I believe that matter, I will press certainly from my end, from the ministry's end, for BL to take the action so we can have a final determination of that.
The BEWJ has not backed down from its demand for severance, continuing its push even as some members struggle with illness. Still ahead, election season is closing in and City Hall wants millions more. The Belize City Council is proposing a $46 million bond to fund major projects across the city.
Station is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
When the power goes out, life is disrupted. Be prepared and keep your home powered up with a generator from Benquip. We carry brands such as Honda, Kohler, and JCB. Schedule your installation, maintenance, and assessment to keep your generator ready and waiting to protect your family and home the next time the power fails. Stay in control of your power with a generator from Benquip. Equipment, parts, service.
Are you enjoying the incredible voices of KTV The Remix Season 8? Well, don't forget, the power is in your hands. This week, each remaining contestant has been assigned a new voting number. To vote for your favorite KTV contestant, simply text the number of votes, followed by a space, then your contestant's assigned voting number, and send it to 585. And remember, you can also send credit directly to your favorite contestant's assigned smartphone number. Here are this week's remaining contestants and their new voting numbers.
Listen to my heart and lay your body next to mine.
I really don't think you're strong enough. Do you believe in life after love?
We're gonna have a party tonight. Let's celebrate, celebrate, celebrate and have a good.
And I'm possessive, it isn't nice. You heard me saying that smoking was my only vice.
Dial about 1,000 numbers lately. Almost rang the phone off the wall. Looking for some hot stuff. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
Babies, but you won't have your man while he is busy loving every woman that he can.
Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right.
Who will make it through to next week? Your vote can keep your KTV star on the stage. Vote before Sunday at midnight. Join us at The Bliss every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for KTV The Remix Season 8.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Stay connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
Belize is looking to accelerate its transition to cleaner transportation through a regional electric mobility initiative supported by Taiwan and the countries of the Central American Integration System, CICA. The project will explore the feasibility of introducing additional electric buses and expanding charging infrastructure in Belize, while drawing on the experiences of regional leaders in sustainable transportation. Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy and Logistics, Dr. Leroy Almendarez, recently participated in discussions on the initiative and says Belize is eager to learn from countries that have already made significant progress in the electric mobility sector. Here's more from him.
The whole Central America, through CICA, is looking at the possibility of increased penetration of e-mobility vehicles, because there's a focus on, the positive impacts or the positive aspects of the environment. And so it's trying to see how you could make a transition from fossil fuels, reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, the buses that use diesel and gas, etc., and see what it would look like to have a transition, what period of time you could move from usage of gas and diesel vehicles to using electric vehicles. And so they were doing a diagnostics across the Central America, but in this case there was a focus on Belize. The two countries at this point in time that have increased penetration are Costa Rica and Panama. Right? Costa Rica is really the leader. Now, in our case now, for us to make the transition, and it was good to see some of the bus owners or vehicle owners in the room, you have to look at data that tells you that it's worthwhile to make this transition. And so, looking at that, because the initial cost of an electric vehicle could be pretty expensive, but the long-term usage, because gas, at this point in time, as you know, the price is very volatile, and we have no real control over that. But when it comes to electric mobility or electric vehicles, the charging or to charge an electric vehicle and to use it over the same space, right? If you were running from Belize City to Cayo, you'll find out that it's much cheaper.
The Belize City Council is touting its electric bus pilot as a step forward for public transportation. But for many commuters, one glaring problem remains impossible to ignore. While the buses may be modern, the infrastructure to support the people who rely on them has lagged, leaving passengers exposed to scorching sun and heavy rain as they wait. City officials now acknowledge the shortcoming and say plans are finally in motion to close a gap that many residents have been dealing with since the project's launch.
I think that is a fair concern, but I must share with you that it's one that we have a plan in place to address. I would not want to preempt too much, but I can share with you that there will be a very modern new bus stop that will soon be constructed directly in front of the Battlefield Park area, central downtown. And I say modern bus stop because it will truly be a modern one. But also what we're planning to do between now and the end of this term, and I think even into the next term, the new City Council will have to dedicate some resources into upgrading some of the infrastructure that currently exists in terms of bus stops across the city, and we will also have to build some new bus stops across the city to service the new routes that will be established for those additional electric buses that we will soon be taking on. I think you have to recall that this e-mobility project started out as a pilot, right? And it was simply a pilot to be able to inform us of the viability of electric buses or the functionality of electric buses in Belize. And so it had a limited budget of sorts, and that was not necessarily factored in.
CITCO has recorded close to 400,000 rides on its 2 e-buses since the pilot was launched in July 2024. With municipal elections just 8 months away, the Belize City Council is looking to borrow $16 million in new funds. The council is proposing a $46 million bond that, according to Deputy Mayor Elud Miller, would be used to fund major capital projects across the city. But with election season approaching, questions are already being asked about timing, priorities, and the council's ability to manage that level of debt. Miller says the Bernard Wagner-led council has a strong track record, noting that it has never defaulted on an interest or principal payment.
I would not want for anybody to get the idea that we're taking on $46 million in new investment. We had over $20 million worth of existing investment, and so what is happening is that we are reprofiling that, meaning that we are turning it from short-term investments, 1 to 2 year investments into the city, into longer-term investments, 5 to 10 year. But as a part of that as well, we're also taking on some new investments, and that has been going well. I think we have been doing a good job of encouraging the public and private sector to invest in Belize City. As you know, it is one of the most attractive offerings on the financial market. There's a lot of liquidity out there in the market. And I think the Belize City Council has effectively managed our municipal securities offering over time. I am proud to say that we have never defaulted on an interest or principal payment, even through the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, even through the impacts of Hurricane Lisa and all the economic implications that came along with that. We have been able to meet every single payment. We continue to do what is necessary to build our interest reserve fund and our sinking fund, and those continue to be managed properly as well. And so I'm happy to report that that has been going well.
Miller contends that municipal bonds are financial tools made available to municipalities for capital investment. Up next, Belize's third safe country deal with the U.S. is now in motion. The first asylum seeker has arrived, and the debate over what comes next begins.
Is growing, and as our nation grows, so does the demand for electricity and new energy solutions. More homes, more businesses, more opportunities. BEL continues to strengthen the system that supports this growth, reinforcing infrastructure and solidifying capacity, preparing for what's ahead, ensuring reliable service for homes, for businesses, and for communities across Belize. Keeping the lights on every single day. Belize Electricity Limited, prepared for growth, prepared for Belize.
Introducing BB Insurance, built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Are you enjoying the incredible voices of KTV The Remix Season 8? Well, don't forget, the power is in your hands. This week, each remaining contestant has been assigned a new voting number. To vote for your favorite KTV contestant, simply text the number of votes, followed by a space, then your contestant's assigned voting number, and send it to 585. And remember, you can also send credit directly to your favorite contestant's assigned smartphone number. Here are this week's remaining contestants and their new voting numbers.
Listen to my heart and lay your body next to mine. I really don't think you're strong enough. Do you believe in life after love? We're gonna have a party tonight. Let's celebrate, celebrate, celebrate and have a good.
And I'm possessive, it isn't nice. You heard me saying that smoking was my only vice.
Dial about 1,000 numbers lately. Almost rang the phone off the wall. Looking for some hot stuff. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
Babies, but you won't have your man while he is busy loving every woman that he can.
Play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right.
Who will make it through to next week? Your vote can keep your KTV star on the stage. Vote before Sunday at midnight. Join us at The Bliss every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for KTV The Remix Season 8.
Stay connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. so you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
Insurance fact. Did you know Home Protector Insurance provides liability insurance that is for licensing? Public liability insurance for the hotels and guest houses protects the guests staying at the resort. Tour operators insurance for on-site tourists and marine passenger liability for passengers. You take care of your guests, we'll take care of you. Visit any Home Protector Insurance office near you to learn more.
Belize's third Safe Country Agreement with the United States is no longer just a policy on paper. The first asylum seeker has arrived under the arrangement, a Haitian national who will now begin the process of settling into Belizean society. While the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is leading the agreement, Immigration Minister Karim Musa says his ministry has an important role to play in helping these individuals integrate once they are here. Today, Musa shared an update on Belize's first case under the agreement.
As you know, a few months ago, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs signed off on the third safe country with the United States of America. We have received our first asylum seeker a few weeks ago. That particular individual, I believe, is from Haiti. Our ministry plays a very critical role in the entire process. Of course, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has the lead on it, but our refugees department specifically, along with the UNHCR, are responsible for integrating those individuals into society, providing shelter for them, providing food for them, helping them to get on their feet with the different processes and integrating into our Belizean society. And so our refugees department plays a very critical role in the entire process. The MOU does contain various provisions in terms of considerations that we as a Belize government would make in determining whether to accept an individual or not. And so we are given 72 hours notice of the individual coming on a flight, and primarily based on national security concerns, we would do a background check on the individual. If something negative comes up, something that we are skeptical about as a country, then we have all right to deny that person entry or leave to land in Belize.
The government of Belize signed the agreement with the U.S. in October 2025. Caribbean Shores Area Representative Karim Musa is staying neutral in the upcoming PUP Belize City Municipal Convention. And he says that is exactly how the process should work. With Alan Pollard and Elud Miller both vying for the mayoral candidacy, Musa says delegates must be free to make their own choice without pressure from elected officials. But whoever emerges victorious, he says, will have his full support. And for Musa, even the candidate who falls short should be recognized for stepping forward in the interest of the party.
I support a gentleman by the name of Kirkland Smith. He comes out of Caribbean Shores, a career educator. I fully support him and endorse him. I've answered this question already as it comes to Elud and Alan, that I think that these are two of our very best young people, very impressive in terms of all that they have done, all that they have achieved in their young political lives. And as I said on the last occasion, we in Caribbean Shores will leave it up to the delegates, because this is a democratic process. I will not impress on them, any of the delegates, on who I think that they should vote for. My focus will be twofold. I consider myself to be somewhat senior in the party, that after the convention, my role is to propel whoever is victorious to become the next mayor of Belize City and do my part, and at the same time celebrate the person that loses, uplift them, encourage them, because I think that whoever loses has a lot to still offer in politics. Municipal
elections are set to be held in March 2026. Belizeans are being asked to take a simple step toward better health, literally. The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in partnership with the Embassy of Taiwan, has launched Belize Moves, a nationwide campaign aimed at getting people more physically active in their everyday lives. The goal is to help reduce lifestyle-related illnesses, including non-communicable diseases, by encouraging movement that is practical, accessible, and easy to start. The campaign officially kicked off on Thursday evening at Sir George Brown Park in Belmopan. Shane Williams has the story.
Health officials say non-communicable diseases cause about 65% of deaths in Belize. The Belize Moves campaign is not about gym routines or heavy exercises. It is about getting Belizeans of all ages to move more in simple, practical ways to fight non-communicable diseases.
Non-communicable diseases, heart disease, diabetes, cancer and hypertension continue to place a very heavy burden on our families, communities, and our health system. As highlighted during the Belize Moves workshop this week, NCDs account for approximately 65% of all deaths in our country. Behind each statistic is a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a friend, or a neighbor whose life has been impacted by preventable illnesses.
The Embassy of Taiwan is partnering with the Ministry of Health on the Belize Moves project.
Together, we are strengthening primary health care, enhancing the prevention and management of chronic disease, and promoting healthier lifestyles. This partnership reflects our shared commitment to improving public health and achieving the goals of the Belize Move initiative. As a close friend and development partner of Belize, Taiwan remains committed to deepening our cooperation and advancing the health and well-being of the Belizean people.
Minister Kevin Bernard says the success of Belize Moves will ultimately depend on the participation of every Belizean. Schools will promote healthy eating and physical activity through health fairs, nutrition education, and fitness challenges, while workplaces will be encouraged to establish wellness programs that support both physical and mental health.
I invite every Belizean to be part of this journey. Take a walk, join a fitness activity, choose healthier foods, get screened, and most importantly, encourage your families and friends, neighbors, and co-workers to do the same. Because when one Belizean moves, a family benefits. When a community moves, a nation benefits. When Belize moves, Belize grows stronger, healthier, and more resilient.
Health officials want Belize Moves to grow into a national movement, helping families, schools, workplaces, and communities to build healthier habits and prevent diseases. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
After the break, 104 years of resistance, representation, and public service. The PSU marks a major milestone.
Connected in the USA for as low as $10. With Smart Roaming Data Pass, staying connected is simple and affordable. Get the data you need starting at 1,000 megabytes to stay connected to larger plans that keep you online while you travel across the USA. So you can message, browse, video call, and navigate wherever you go. No SIM swap, no bill shock. Just simple, affordable pricing. Activate easily by dialing *100# using the Smart app or online. Smart Roaming Data Pass. Staying connected the smart way. Smart, bringing people together.
Every dollar you save today is a seed for tomorrow. Let your dreams take root and grow. Belize Bank, your future, our commitment.
Is not just a place, it's the vacation capital of the world, Mexican Caribbean. Do you know why we are the capital of vacations? Because no other place on earth brings together so many ways to vacation in one single destination. Every vacation imaginable. Mexican Caribbean, the vacation capital.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
The Public Service Union is marking a major milestone: 104 years of standing up for Belize's public officers. Since 1922, the PSU has played a central role in defending workers' rights and pushing for better conditions across the public service. But as the union celebrates its long history, it is also looking at the challenges facing public officers today, including the SARA transition, concerns over terminal workers, and employee benefits. PSU President Dean Flowers says the union remains focused on solidarity and advocacy as it prepares for its annual general meeting under the theme One Vision, One Voice, One Union. PSU 104 years strong.
The Public Service Union for 104 years has been playing a significant role in shaping the Belizean society in the nation. And I'm proud to be the current president to oversee the celebrations of our 104th annual general meeting, which comes up on the 13th and 14th of August, where this will be the first year that we attempt to hold an AGM during the week, with the hope that more members will come out and that more members will be sensitized and informed about the work that we're doing and the importance for them to remain informed going forward and for them to understand the true meaning of trade unionism. Solidarity is not hashtagging the word. Solidarity is hitting the ground. Solidarity is standing shoulder to shoulder when we need to do that on the pavement. And so this year, I can also say that we're celebrating under the theme One Vision, One Voice, one union, PSU, 104 years strong. We will be having elections. Unfortunately, for the government, my post is not up for elections, so they'll have to contend with me for another year. Congratulations, Cabinet. But the post of first Vice President, the post of Assistant General Secretary, the post of National Treasurer, 2 posts for councillors and 3 posts for trustees will be up for elections. And so nominations, the call for nominations is currently out. And I want to encourage those public service union members who understand how the organization functions and who are in fact true trade unionists to offer themselves.
Flowers noted that members interested in leadership roles should take advantage of the union's year-round training opportunities and hopes for strong participation at the 104th AGM. St. John's Credit Unions marks its 80th anniversary this year. The institution is expanding its investment in education by awarding 4 high school scholarships to students from across Belize, the largest single group of recipients in the program's history. The scholarships, which provide financial assistance throughout all 4 years of high school, recognize students who demonstrated academic potential, financial need, and a commitment to their future goals. The credit union says the initiative reflects SJCU's ongoing commitment to supporting its members and strengthening communities through education, while scholarship recipients were encouraged to view the award as both an opportunity and a responsibility to continue striving for excellence.
The scholarship, like this year, we increased the total. The students receive $1,700 that is paid directly to the school for their full tuition. We covered that while we gave them school supplies and whatever need they may have in terms of help that they may need academically if they're struggling with a subject or so, we would provide tutoring. So we try to ensure that the students have a high possibility of success throughout the program.
I am really happy and really grateful for getting this award. I hope I get to make my parents, myself, and everyone proud.
What do you plan to study and what do you aspire to be when you grow older?
I like science and IT. And in the future, I wanted to be a marine tour guide. I saw a lot of my family members do it, like my grandfather, my uncles, and some of my aunties. But I like to be like them because I love the ocean and marine life.
What would you say to anyone that is thinking of applying next year?
Well, what I would say, just keep your grades up and apply to any scholarship that is available to you. No matter what all you need to do, just apply and maybe just believe that you will be accepted.
St. John's Credit Union is celebrating its 80th anniversary this November with a series of activities and community events, while highlighting its new building, improved services, and commitment to growing stronger and serving members better in the years ahead. This Saturday, the message is simple: one love. Reggae music, culture, and community will come together for the annual Haile Selassie 134th Earth Strong Night celebration. But organizer Ras Ruben says the event is not just about good music. It is about honoring history, celebrating identity, and reminding Belizeans of the power of unity. He shares what the night will bring.
Okay, this is Selassie, King Selassie's Earth Day, 134th Earth Strong. We celebrate this every year, and he is our divine leader. Okay, this weekend we'll have Kenny Gladden and the New Creation Band, DJ Block and Brick City, they select, and we also have a number of artists: Ras Sherman, Ras Jalak, Bongo Farai, Redder Dan, Unlimited, and Ras Indio, and a couple more artists, but that does name a few, you know. The event will be at BTL Park from 6 p.m. until 12, and you know, come out, bring your children, bring your family, and be a cultural event with a lot of cultural things, food, drinks, and everything, And give thanks to all the people who will support this thing, who make it possible, all the people who will sponsor this event. We're very grateful to all of you all. Blessed love.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, Rodwell Ferguson addresses son's run-in with police. Ellis Ken commented, "Those knowing the family know the challenges of the said individual, and his dad being a minister does not absolve his son or the actions done by him. He broke the law and as such is responsible and accountable for his actions." Turning to City Hall touts transit progress as commuters brave heat and rain. Andrew Shane Henry shared, "Much appreciated, but we're literally begging for more buses." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.